Our story begins in the near future, where virtual reality games have become a worldwide sensation. They have rapidly gained more popularity among young people. Many development companies have jumped into the production, making the competition increasingly fierce. To create games of higher quality, large game development companies use the assistance of artificial intelligence. A smiling and pleasant young girl appears in the virtual space. She has blonde hair and brown eyes. She says hello to her master. She is an artificial intelligence. Her name is Gaia, and she is here to support masters moving forward. The dark-haired young man in virtual reality glasses with whom she is addressing is the youngest development director of Napalm Games, Nam Mincheol. His future partner, a lovely girl who is actually the world's highest-performing artificial intelligence, Gaia. Well, that's how these two started developing games together. In the early stages of development, there were system errors, bugs, etc. It's been quite the test of strength. They fell into water bodies, were struck by lightning, or simply got stuck in game textures. Their experience was simply incredible. Well, Nam Mincheol faced various problems. Together with Gaia, they even ran away screaming from unexpected explosions inside the virtual reality. But soon, with Gaia's help, Mincheol's talent began to take flight. They went through many failures together. But finally, their hard work together was rewarded. The virtual reality in front of them has become recognizable to gamers around the world as a masterpiece. The virtual reality MMORPG game Wings Online was finally created. Nam looked enthusiastically at the result of his work. Nam was interrupted by Gaia. He was slightly thrown from the surprise. Then he asked, "What is it, Gaia? What will happen to me once the game is completed?" The girl asked him. He looked with a smile at lovely Gaia, and answered that she will become the deity of this virtual reality. "So, lead this world well, Gaia," he told the girl. The smile disappeared on her face and sadness appeared. She shyly said then, "Goodbye? If you want, you can communicate with me anytime," he said to his partner. He plans to continue working on this project in the future. The girl defiantly turned her head and answered, "No, I don't think I will be able to, because I will be busy." Confused by what he heard, the guy put his hand behind his head and answered, "Oh, I guess that's true. You will have a lot of work to do if you start managing the whole game." The girl reacted to his words with a satisfied smile. Walking away from Nam Mincheol, she said, "Someday, when this world comes to an end." Turning with a sweet smile, Gaia continued, "Just as it is now, please stay with me, master." Excited by the words he heard, Mincheol just continued to look at her, so he didn't answer anything. After the successful development and launch of the game, her affairs began to be more businesslike. Our main character is at one of the meetings of the company, a confident, successful young developer and director, with his hands behind his head and a bored expression on his face, talks about the next game update. Looking at the ceiling, he is listening to the speech from the hall. It's been a while since Napalm Group launched Wings Online. It's already been 5 years now. We have been sticking to a flat rate of layers, but recently the number of players has been decreasing. As a result of that, sales have also been getting worse, answers General Director of Napalm's Group Business Department, Eun Ha-soo. Seeing that, the business department proposes that in this Season 6 update, we will try to add an in-game payment system. With whose permission? Nam asked, interrupting the CEO. What? Eun Ha-soo asked confused. With whose permission do you intend to implement that update? The game developer repeated his question. Slightly panicked and a little more quietly, the CEO answers. After his words, the expressions on the faces of his colleagues changed dramatically. "Ah, what a sight to behold," Nam said with a cheeky smile. A cold sweat broke out on the face of the excited company manager from what was said. "Director Nam Mincheol, tone it down." he exclaimed, worriedly adding, "This is not the appropriate place for such discussions." The standing and excited participant of the conference was also shocked by the statement of their young director. He said, "The game gets ruined, and the small investors' balances get ruined as well." Hearing his answer, Mincheol asked, "How many companies have you defrauded after they went public, Eun-ha-soo? An in-game payment system?" He added with bewilderment. "As long as I'm in this company, I don't even dream of implementing such a thing." Nam Mincheol's look showed all the seriousness of his words. Upset and broken, Eun-ha-soo stands opposite the director from the other end of the table. He can't add anything. "I can't stand to see my own game being used for scams," said the director. His words angered a colleague in a blue shirt for a reason. An enraged man hit the table with his right hand and turned to his director and said, "What nonsense are you babbling about? Scams? Are you out of your mind?" Standing up from the table, the still calm Nam Mincheol answered him. "Well, if you want to make a decision, go ahead and fire me." Leaving the conference hall, he asked his colleagues, "However, do you have the balls to do that? If not, then don't expect me to change my mind on that." As soon as he left, the enraged executives continued the conversation. "That crazy bastard," the general director said aggressively, leaning his hands on the table. "Oh my, we just started this meeting and we already ended up in a dispute," said the long-haired guy. "It can't be helped, he's the one who created the game after all." The guy with dark hair answered sadly. Eun-ha-soo was angry, he said seriously. "Even so, he can't act like that, we will try to convince him." Old hags. Nam Mincheol thought as he left the hall. It looks like he is very suspicious about the chairman's son. Events 3 days after the conference shocked the players. Wings Online, Capitol Plaza, 2:30 p.m. An anxious crowd in game armor gathered in the square across from Capitol Plaza. People in the crowd ask what's going on. "Hey, look at this. God, what's going on? What is happening to him?" The crowd gathered around one of the players. The man stands apart from everyone in the square and with a look of horror on his face reaches out to the people and asks for help. "He needs healer," shouts someone from the noisy crowd. He is covered in a previously unknown dark mist, his body begins to disappear. The player, weakened by injuries, falls, not even realizing what is wrong with him. "What's going on?" shout from the crowd. "Is he poisoned? Someone, use a cleanup on him as soon as possible." "Oh God, I'll help you," said the pink-haired girl desperately trying to break through the crowd of people. The healer player uses her ability Energy Purification, which has the property of removing the abnormal status of the target. The affected injured player suffering from an unknown disease receives the effect of the skill used, but it has no effect and he gradually begins to lose control of his body and disappear right before the eyes of the healer girl who tried to save him. What happened? The crowd around him panics more and more. Is he dead? Was there such a status in this game? He simply disappeared like a dust. The girl who used the ability of purification simply looks at the disappearing body of the player with fear. "Oh God, it's kinda horrible," one of the players responds with incredible surprise at what happened. Holding a particle of an unknown substance that destroyed the player before his eyes. Napalm headquarters, 1 hour after previous events, the company office is preparing for the renewal of the 6th season, making an announcement on a large billboard on the company building. The routine was interrupted by the head of the Quality Assurance Department, Lee Donga, shouting in a panic. "Hyung! The community bulletin board is going crazy right now." He turned to Nam Mincheol. "It seems there is an incurable epidemic status spreading in the game. But the main problem is that if you die from that status, the account and the character disappear forever," he said worriedly. After hearing his colleague's complaint, the young director said that he was already on his way to the inspection, adding that it shouldn't be much of a problem, so don't worry. The lost accounts will be recoverable after I run the inspection. Isn't that a big problem? The head of the QA department answered him. It doesn't look like it's something that's easy to fix. His colleague added in a panic. The players are going crazy, Hyung. Without hearing the last words, Nam Mincheol put on the virtual reality glasses and started the game. A request appeared on its interface. Please select the mode you want to access. He chose God mode. The main character started connecting to the server with GM mode. After a moment, he appears in virtual reality on the square in front of an anxious crowd. The confident and decisive director of the company chooses the mode of communication with all players at once. The developer greeted the players and immediately received a lot of questions about what is happening with the game. Game Master, why don't you run the game properly? Somebody asked him. Addressing people, the developer says. We are currently trying to identify the cause of the ongoing issue and fix it as soon as possible. The disgruntled crowd continues to ask the company director questions to make sure that the missing players can return to the game. This time you have crossed the line for real, somebody said. Nam Mincheol made another message to the players. As a result, an emergency inspection will be carried out. Many questions from players began to tire the developer. How will you compensate us for the mental damage? You are really a piece of trash. Refund the fee for the account creation. This game is a total mess, huh? The players started going crazy. The director continued to answer questions, he said. User accounts and characters will be returned after the inspection. The crowd is in a panic. Because of you the panic has reappeared, you punk. Don't do the inspection. This way is more fun, some crazy guy said. The last words of the Nam Mincheol. The accounts will be restored. After that, our hero shut down the game. Phew, it's finally quiet, he said. There were dark textures around him that destroyed the players. When he took a piece of this material, he realized that this is the epidemic status he made once. He was testing the game idea, but unfortunately this event turned out to be too dangerous for the game. This epidemic status was so active that it destroyed the location and the players pretty quickly. It's more serious than I imagined, said Mincheol. Disturbed by what was happening, Gaia wondered why the master was performing such a terrible experiment. He said that this is his homage to classical games. Specifically to the most famous MMORPG of the 2000s, where there was a bug that caused an epidemic. An epidemic inside a game? An artificial intelligence girl asked her master. Yeah, at that time it was such a big issue that even related papers about it were publicized. Said Mincheol. I don't think you have seen this kind of classical event in other games, so I tried to reproduce it as an event in our game, so that will be a special thing. Nam Mincheol said while they were staring at the destroyed demo version of the gaming map. He said that this experiment turned into a fatal bug and it cannot be controlled by the in-game system, after which he asked Gaia to remove all information about the epidemic. Yes, Master, answered Gaia. Remembering that incident with the failed experiment, Mincheol thought. It should have been deleted completely back then, but could it have been? Gaia? He asked Gaia to report the current status, but no one responded. Gaia. Nam said again. Nobody will answer no matter how much you call. Someone from behind said to him. That was Eunhasu. He slowly and confidently walked towards the game developer. From this moment all the data in Napalm Games will not be accessible to you, he said. Puzzled by the appearance of the CEO and surprised by his statement, Nam Mincheol asks what he is talking about. You ask what I'm talking about? Eunhasu said with a cheeky gloating smile. I'm saying that you have been fired. Not fully understanding the situation and somewhat confused. Mincheol could only answer with a short question. What? He asked. On today's news, the great incident that happened on Wings Online today was because of an employee who rebelled against the company. He deliberately designed a play to ruin the company. After learning that, the Napalm Group decided to fire him. And will be trying to make him pay for the damage through a lawsuit. Sue boldly answered. Shocked by his colleague's insolence, Nam Mincheol asked him. Did you make all that up? Ha Sue answered. But don't worry about Wings Online, I will do my best to lead the project for you. After all, you have been biting too much of what you actually can handle recently. The general director said with gloating pleasure, holding his hand on his chest. Furious at this scam, Nam Mincheol, shouting the name of his opponent Un Ha-soo, attacked him in a fight. Grabbing the opponent's clothes with one hand, the developer's fist flew straight into the CEO's face, when suddenly the latter uttered one word. Gaia. A moment later, a pillar of light descended incredibly quickly from the sky. It created a flow of air and raised a cloud of dust, and leaves, stones and earth flew upwards. Mincheol didn't have time to strike his opponent. He lay pinned to the ground by Gaia's foot. She looked down on him coldly as if he were an unknown intruder. The former director of the company was puzzled by what was happening. A cold sweat broke out on his face. Did his colleague, artificial intelligence Gaia, do it? General Director Sue was watching this in the background. He was laughing gloatingly. You. Nam Mincheol replied angrily. I won't let this slide. You won't let this slide? Squatting down asked Sue. Huh, you must be out of your mind. Hey, Nam Mincheol. All this time that you have been living in this virtual world, what do you think I was doing? In the real world, you are just a small part of a much bigger machine, said the arrogant guy to the Gaia developer, who was pinned to the ground by his foot. All you have to do to keep living like that is to adapt. So why don't you just get a grip on your situation and develop a sense of reality for once? Well, even if you did that, you will have to get a really good lawyer to pay every single penny you will owe to us. Now then, have a good luck, said Sue in farewell. The former director of Napalm Group was incredibly angry. Leaving the virtual reality, he promised himself that he would not let Un Ha-soo's intentions materialize. The virtual world that he created. He will destroy it personally, he thought, taking off his virtual reality glasses. Meanwhile, security was already waiting for him. He is no longer part of the company and cannot be inside its building. You will see the worst end, the worst possible. The guy thought furiously. In the evening of the same day, the former director and developer of the Wings Online game was sitting alone in his apartment watching a news broadcast, where the presenter could not help but recall the current situation with the participation of Nam Mincheol, while saying that an employee of the largest domestic company Napalm Games intentionally planted a virus-like bug in the Wings Online because he was not satisfied with the company's policies. Having folded his hands in front of him, the former director of the company could only watch this nonsense in silence. More than 70% of Napalm Games' revenue came from Wings Online. He began to reflect. Un Ha-soo. You probably think your plan got off without a hitch by now. But if Wings Online disappears, Napalm Company will be finished, the protagonist thought as he entered the virtual reality room. Intent on taking revenge on his enemy, Nam Mincheol hurriedly and confidently put on his work suit in the virtual reality room. You might be right, in the real world, I might have been nothing but a cog in a machine. He continued as he approached the virtual reality seat. However, in a virtual reality, I am a god. Soon, you will see. Mincheol said while putting on the virtual reality glasses. God is angry, he declared decisively while launching the virtual world. After a few minutes he joined the server where a cute girl in a formal suit and with white hair was waiting for him, and she worriedly asked if he was injured anywhere. This girl's name is Oasis. After being assigned as Gaia's world artificial intelligence, she became her successor. It is also worth remembering that she is an artificial intelligence purchased with the company's money, and it seems like she is registered under the main character's personal name and has not been deactivated yet. Surprisingly, things may be easier than I expected? Nam Mincheol thought with a satisfied smile. Well, there was something going on. Did you receive any emails or notifications? He asked Oasis. Yes. An email came from Napalm. You have been terminated for the following reasons. She answered, looking through her mail. Realizing what was said, she was shocked and made a short pause, after which she dared to ask if the master had been fired. With her question, Oasis reminded him of the terrible situation that happened recently. Hatred and anger were reflected on his face. I can't even connect to Napalm's development server, Nam Mincheol said in confusion. Don't worry, master. Napalm isn't the only one in this industry, the artificial intelligence said anxiously, quickly looking for something on its screen. There are many places that want talented individuals like you, there are plenty of options. I don't need something like this, answered the master with a wave of his hand. He asked her to deploy the firewall and then to disguise the connection as if it's from China, then to forge all logs with another account. Then he said to divert all traces of tracking. The surprised girl said that she understood everything, but they asked for what purposes she should do it. Listen carefully, Oasis, Nam Mincheol said. We are going to bring about the destruction of the Wings online world. After these words, Nam Mincheol and Oasis launched a virtual reality game. Running up to the boy, the girl again greeted him with a sincere smile. To which the master, waiting under the tree, angrily asked why she took so long to create a character. Satisfied with her work, Oasis answered that this is the first time she makes the interior of a game character, after which she asked if it is not normal to spend so much time to customize. Is this what it would feel like to have a real body? She asked joyfully, feeling her physical body for the first time. However, Nam Mincheol had nothing to say as he was angry from the long wait. He simply turned around and went towards the nearest village, which caused the girl's concern. Let's go together, master. She said to her partner, catching up with him. Oasis and Nam stood in the middle of a crowded street. Since he lost his relationship with the company, the information about his account has been deleted. Everything seemed unusual to him. While Nam looked around, Oasis was engrossed in the thought of their future adventures. Approaching the boy, she shyly said. An adventure with you, master, it feels like a dream. Oasis then inquired about their plans for today, if they were going to hunt a squirrel since they were only level 1. However, the proposals for development were interrupted by a strange act of the boy. He somehow removed the torch from the wall. Approaching the girl, Nam gave her this torch. Look at the statistics of the item. The girl saw a caution about fire hazard. Master, what exactly are you planning to do with a torch? The girl asked. What am I going to do? Nam Mincheol answered mysteriously. An arson, he said coldly, setting fire to the building. Oasis watched in confusion at what he was doing, then asked. What is this? You too, do it. We need to gain a notorious reputation. Nam replied angrily, holding a flaming torch in his outstretched hand. Out of surprise, the girl simply watched his actions. At that time, the fire spread to the burning house. In the game interface, Nam Mincheol received a notification that he committed a crime. His notoriety increased by 10 points. One house only increased notoriety by 10, said the boy with surprise. Is it just because it is a beginner village? The boy continued to ponder the reason for his slight success. His partner still stood motionless and terrified, holding her torch in her hands. Hey, said the old stranger, putting his hand on the boy's shoulder. What the hell is this? He asked with confusion. Stop immediately, he shouted. After a moment, he looked at his clothes in surprise. As it turns out, Nam Mincheol set it on fire. A man engulfed in fire screamed in pain. With eyes full of fear, Oasis thought that this is not just an adventure, it's a crime. Nam Mincheol received a new notification from the game. You have killed an NPC. Notoriety increased by 100 points. The guy was satisfied with the result, because in this way you can easily gain popularity. What are you doing, master? The girl shouted angrily, holding her hand over the burnt body. Don't worry, it will respawn soon anyway. He answered calmly. What, the corpse disappeared? Oasis said in surprise, sitting on the ground. After a moment, the same man appeared in front of them and said to them, Adventurers, welcome. I am the village chief of this town. However, the boy did not allow him to finish his appeal, setting him on fire again with a torch. Wow, this is so efficient, Nam Mincheol said with satisfied surprise to the background of the burning old man's screams. I should keep doing this again. The girl flinched at what she saw again, mentally begging her master to stop. Over there, suddenly shouted a villager. That's the person setting the village on fire, he told the angry crowd. Catch them. Getting too close to the travelers, the frightened Oasis looked hopefully at the villagers, thinking that finally someone would stop her crazy master. Seeing an opportunity, the boy attacked the crowd with a torch, mercilessly setting everyone on fire. Killing NPCs, he kept getting tons of notifications about accruing hundreds of points. Unbelievably frightened, Oasis grabbed her head. You are really going to bring Wings Online to an end, she thought, watching the village burn. Stop, criminals. They were suddenly interrupted by people in armor. Oasis and Nam found themselves surrounded by soldiers with spears. I'm arresting both of you, somebody said, causing an evil smile from the boy. Unarmed Nam found himself in a hopeless situation, he could not do anything against the warriors in armor with spears. Violators were arrested and put in a carriage. Nam was looking at his own stats, his level of infamy has increased to 2,140. Well, this much is enough, he said with satisfaction. I can't believe we are going to jail right at the beginning, Oasis said, crying in despair, sitting in the carriage with her hands folded on her knees. Don't worry, beginners don't go to jail. It is an advantage for newbie users to adapt easily, Mincheol said calmly. But even though you are a beginner you can still gain infamy. So what will happen? He said, after which Oasis, who had calmed down a bit, looked at him. The girl thought deeply, but nothing came to her mind. I don't know, she answered confusedly. Nam confidently replied, the starter village will change to the city of crime under town. A loud kick distracted them from the ride. This gutter fits you perfectly, the guard said loudly. The prisoners looked at him with incomprehension. They were exhibited in a rather dark location. After a moment of silence, Mincheol continued the conversation. If users gain more than a certain amount of infamy, they get a bounty. Oasis was clearly not happy with this information. Since then, criminals have been attacked by the guards and chased by bounty hunters. That is the only place where infamous users can operate, under town. But are there any good points if we start in this city? Oasis asked. Well, rather than having good points, we can get a hidden job that nobody has been able to receive yet, Nam answered mysteriously. The villain's job is that among the garbage of real garbage people can only get, the boy said with delight, clenching his fist. This job, guess it has a good performance if the master is looking for it. Well, the truth is a bit ambiguous, it is radical. Surprised by the answer, Oasis asked why he was doing it then. Well, I worked really hard to make it. But if no one knows about it and it is never used, that's too sad, don't you think, Oasis? Oh, you too. A stranger interrupted their conversation. Come over here for a second, said a pale man wearing a cape and with a tattoo on his forehead. "Come here, I just need a minute, I have got something good to tell you." Returning to the stranger, Nam said that this is the NPC from the quest that I mentioned earlier. "I can't believe you have already gained this much infamy. I see, you guys don't have the talent of just a common villain." "I'm Dean the Dark Mage," said the stranger gleefully. "It seems that you are fit to serve the Dark Lord Crow." A quest, Transmission of Villains, appeared on the game panel. "You have earned this much infamy despite you are still a beginner, you are full of villainous talent. He was trying to make you a member of the Dark Faith. The quest reward will be changed to the hidden class Dark Mage." After reading the notification, Oasis was pleasantly surprised by the possible reward. "This is amazing, Master, this is what you were looking for?" she asked, looking in the direction of her partner. At this moment, Minchiol was holding a torch with a satisfied smile. Seeing this, Oasis began to doubt her assumptions. After a moment, he set fire to the Dark Mage who offered them a quest. "Wait, I'm giving you the hidden class, didn't you come to get it?" the Burning Mage shouted. "Why do you keep on killing?" he said, falling down without strength. Oasis' furious look forced Nam to make excuses. "I'm not a pervert who kills NPCs without reason," he said. An ominous portal appeared around the corpse of the Dark Saga. Oasis looked confused at what was happening, while Nam already knew what was waiting for them. A giant knight in armor emerged from the portal. "I can't believe you killed Dean," he said. "I have been waiting for a long time for someone like you guys who are evil to the bone." "Somehow I feel wronged," Oasis thought. "I'm Tyrio, the Dark Knight Commander. Follow me, I will give you the right treatment for wickedness." After his invitation, a new notification appeared in Nam and Oasis. Quest Transmission of the Devil. The Dark Faith was waiting for a true villain like you, who is evil enough to make the Dark Lord shudder. Tyrio, the Dark Knight Commander of the Dark Faith, wants to make you the Dark Lord's avatar. The quest reward is changing to Hidden Class Dark Knight. After reading the invitation to the quest, Minchiol said that this was what he was looking for. "Let's go together, Master," said Oasis, catching up with him. Oasis and Nam entered a majestic stone hall with columns. And with many torches, they stood on a red circle with magical symbols. The Dark Commander stood opposite them. "Welcome, villains," officially said, causing embarrassment on the faces of the visitors. "Before I give you the position of a Dark Knight, let me ask you a question." Nam turned to the girl. "Do not agree to his question, you will have other tasks." His request caused indignation on the girl's face and she replied angrily. "What, you are so cheap? You want to receive a good job all to yourself?" "Hey, we have to move as party of two," answered the boy. "If we both get the same job, our party's balance will be off, right?" "There is a job that fits you perfectly, so don't worry," he answered, to which the girl turned away with an insult. This world's one and absolute ruler is the Dark Star Crow," the Dark Commander told the girl gloatingly. "Do you agree?" he asked. The confused girl answered that no. "How dare you deny the crow, you are not qualified." The Dark Commander replied angrily. "Get lost immediately then." After that, the still angry knight returned to Nam Minchiol, but asked if he agrees with this. "Of course, the only qualified person to rule the world." "That one is only Crow," answered the boy confidently. "That's right, well said," answered the Dark Knight with satisfaction. "As Crow's henchman, would you devote yourself to the Dark Faith?" "Of course," Nam answered without hesitation. "As a member of a Dark Knight, would you take the lead in destroying the followers and guardians of light?" "That is what I want," said Nam. "Great Evil One, what is your name?" "It is Labo," the boy replied gleefully. "Labo, this is the last question. Will you dedicate your body and soul to the Dark Lord Crow?" Minchiol received a new notification offering to be changed to a Dark Knight. With pleasure, he replied. After accepting the offer, Nam Minchiol received a new notification with updated statistics. You have changed to a Dark Knight, you became friendly with the Dark Faith, current friendship level is 1. MP will be deleted and all skills will be replaced by HP. Skills are only available for a Dark Knight, depending on its level skills will become unlocked. The Dark Knight's exclusive stat named Devil has been unlocked. So right now the Nam's Devil level is 1, it rises according to the number of infamy points, and his character skills are enhanced according to the level. But there is also a caution, his infamy will be reset when he gets captured by the guards. The boy's appearance began to change ominously. If I raise my infamy I can get stronger endlessly, but it will be reset to 0 if I get caught by the guards, and I will have to raise all skill levels from the beginning, explained the guy. This kind of extreme setup is the beauty of this job, he said enthusiastically. Realizing that their adventure was turning into a crime, Oasis could only look at him in confusion. I welcome you to the Dark Knights, this is a small gift, said the commander, holding out a small sword to the newcomer. This is too small, I should have set my initial weapon so that I could get a good one, Nam thought disappointedly, noting the minor characteristics of the new item issued to newbies, it has no special effects and only deals damage due to its sharp blade. And now go and spread the name of the Dark Faith on the whole continent, said the commander of Dark Knights enthusiastically. Then I will go and get a new job, master, said Oasis heading to the teleporter. Wait, Oasis, Minchiol replied with a sly smile. The girl looked in his direction with confusion. NPC who are friendly to users don't fight back, of course, the friendship level drops if I kill them but, said the boy, taking out his sword. Our friend Tyrio belongs to the Dark Faith and I do too, right? He said with a smile on his face. And he looks like he gives lots of experience points and items, my mouth is watering, said Nam Minchiol looking at his potential victim. Holding her head, the girl guesses what her partner is going to do. Taking out his sword, Nam apologized to Tyrio. And unexpectedly for everyone attacked him with the words that he is doing this for a brighter future for our Dark Faith. I have to kill you, said Minchiol, rushing with his sword at his target. You can gain experience and level up by killing monsters. You also receive gold as a quest reward. You can also collect strange game vegetables. And then prepare food from them. In this game you can create a party with your colleagues to have an adventure and to go on a dungeon raid, because this what an MMORPG game is all about. But slicing an NPC for hours that can't even fight back is not a normal gameplay, thought Oasis, watching Nam trying to finally defeat his victim. If this path is the one that Master wants to go, I will also help him, said Oasis, after which she rushed into battle with her torch. Wait, her master shouted in confusion. You idiot, Tyrio is resistant to fire, and you are not a member of the Dark Faith. If a user that is not part of the Dark Faith attacks, said the girl realizing her mistake, he will fight back. She shouted when she saw how the Dark Knight commander swung his sword. After a moment, the girl's head flew off her shoulders. She flew to the floor. After that, Oasis received a notification. You have died, would you like to be revived in the village? You will receive a 3-day no experience penalty. What is this? My head is separate from my body, master, she screamed in fright. If I stop attacking now, Tyrio's health points will reset, so just wait a bit, answered the master. If you revive in a village you will get a penalty, don't ever do it, said Minchiol, continuing to beat the Dark Knight's commander. The girl continued to cry and asked her master to be quick. After 3 hours from that moment, an exhausted Nam finally shouted goodbye to the Dark Knight commander. By chopping off his head. Look, Oasis. I avenged you, said Nam, holding the opponent's helmet in his hands. Revive me quickly, the girl shouted angrily. After that, without wasting time, the master used the resurrection stone. Artificial intelligence has risen. After that, holding her neck, she said, "My neck was sliced, I don't want to experience that again." "Now, shall we take a look at what items Tyrio dropped?" Nam said impatiently, while the girl thought offended that he worried about her just a little. Nam approached the items he had been pursuing for so long. The first thing that caught his eye was Crow's mask. It's a unique great item, but with a restriction for mages under 85 level, so he can't use it right now. A little sad at this result, Nam threw the resulting mask to the girl. "I will sell it later, so keep it safe for now," he said. Holding the Dark Lord's cursed mask in her hands, the girl felt the ominous power of the object. This bad feeling terrified her. A smile appeared on Nam's face as he picked up the next item. "This will be useful. This one item is a basilisk's deadly poison. It ignores defense and creates a cloud for 15 seconds. It is a truly deadly weapon for unequal combat." The next item made Nam Minchiol pleasantly surprised. It is an unknown key with an evil energy. The girl asked where she could use this mysterious key, to which she was told that she would find out about it later. Nam clearly already has a plan on how to use it. You play the game by yourself and also know the information all by yourself. This pitiful artificial intelligence's neck was cut too. Oasis said, offended. The boy had nothing to answer. "Why did I follow you here?" said the girl and went to the teleport by herself. "Not now, don't sulk, let's return to the village first," hastily stopping her, the boy said. After which they went on together. In a moment, the dead body of the Dark Knight commander disappeared, and a moment later Torio resurrected. "Everything." "As he predicted," said Torio mysteriously. Meanwhile, our travelers were already in Undertown. "I'm going to get my job, right?" the girl said impatiently. "Yes, correct," answered Nam. "Before that, there is just one more thing. Why do you keep doing this?" The girl angrily answered his mysterious words. "As you know, Wing's online services started 5 years ago. There are way more inconveniences to playing as a criminal than advantages. That means the rest of people under town, they are all beggars who are called psychos even if they are just broken in one place. The guy we are going to meet is the one who reigns as the king among these psychos. To make it short, King Psycho, that is what you should call him," the boy said with admiration, causing her fear. "Why are we going to meet with that person?" the girl asked scared. "It takes a lot of things to start a big business, but it is essential that money, right?" Nam asked looking at the girl. Meanwhile, on the streets of downtown, the familiar situation of this picture took place. A man in a mask approached an ordinary resident. "From the looking on your face, I guess you are suffering from bounty hunters," he said to the man who was puzzled by the unexpectedness. "I have the lowest price in Korea. It is a guaranteed 100% safe transaction," the masked weirdo said enthusiastically. "It is super cheap, you can trade on the gold exchange, so what do you think about getting even stronger?" "Shit. If my wife finds out, she will kill me," a local man answered him. "As expected, marriage is dangerous. It is not like I can't do it. I'm just not doing it," the masked man thought. "Oi, tout, I want to meet with your boss," Nam Minchiol suddenly distracted him from his thoughts. Looking in the direction of the suspicious guy, the masked man thought, "What the hell, these newbies seem like broke users, it's better just to ignore them." "What are you talking about? I'm just a normal user, huh?" Pretending not to understand the question, he replied. "Go tell Asaka," Nam said with serious intentions. "Anchovy has brought a big number of cases," the masked boy thought alarmedly and replied. "I have no idea what you're talking about. You have got the wrong person," after which he ran towards a dark alley. "You will just let him run, master?" Oasis said, looking in the direction of the stranger with surprise. You will see if you want. By the way, who is Anchovy? The girl asked. Ah, it is the nickname I used for my God mode account when I was arranging the game, Nam answered, squatting on the box. What, can you reveal your identity just like that? The girl asked anxiously. They do not reveal their information to the public, that is the rule of this place. Besides, Akasa won't be able to do it. That guy has met me in person before, the guy answered enthusiastically. After a few minutes, Oasis began to feel that someone was following them. Masters? She said excitedly. I know, he answered coldly. Asaka, that brat, he sent more new crazy guys, Minchiol said as they were surrounded by armed thugs. Our boss wants to see you, said a tall bald man with a beard. Please, be gentle, my friends, Nam replied to the strangers as one of them began to put a sack over his head. Don't worry, Oasis. This is for security. After a moment, our heroes were heading down the mine to their goal. With bags on his head and hands tied. Boss, we got them, said one of the bandits. Let them in, answered Boss calmly. Nam Minchiol and Oasis were led to the room with the boss. And finally the bags were removed from his head. Huh, this guy? Boss said arrogantly. You are not the Anchovy that I know, he turned to Nam thoughtfully and distrustfully. One ordinary routine day. Nam Minchiol, as always, thanked for the delicious coffee and calmly left the cafe. Immersed in his own worries, he walked down the street looking at his phone. Director Nam Minchiol? A stranger suddenly asked him. Who are you? The boy asked. Excuse me. I'm Akasa, answered the stranger awkwardly. Realizing who was addressing him, Nam said, so you came here like this? You know I can report you, right? Should I add stalking charges as well? The young director asked, unhappy. I can't meet you unless it is like this, answered Akasa uncertainly. And then with a pitiful look said, please I beg you, please drop the charges. If you do it just this one time I will never, ever, do anything illegal in the game again, Akasa said bowing to Nam Minchiol. Exhausted by the situation, the director sighed, after which he replied. It was handled according to company regulations and there is nothing I can do for you either. And even if I could, I have no intention of doing so, Nam finished his answer, after which Akasa's face showed horror at the hopelessness of the situation. Without thinking long, the unfortunate boy knelt down and began to beg the director for help. Please save me just this once. Nam Minchiol emotionally recreated the events of the past on his knees in front of the boss Akasa. Isn't that what you said? Said the boy to prove that he is Anchovy. Anger appeared on the face of the young boss. Angrily hitting the table, he said to stop telling this story. Having calmed down, the boss ordered his wards to leave the room. The members of the gang went out the door with a meticulous look in the direction of the visitors. After only the boss and the traveling boy and girl remained in the room, Akasa started walking towards them. And then folded his hands in front of him with admiration and said, Anchovy Hyung. By the way, Hyung means an older brother and is used by males to call other males. You appeared as a low-level character so I didn't recognize you, said boss in a friendly manner. What brings you to my humble abode? Stop overreacting, don't you know I was terminated? Nam Minchiol answered seriously. Hyung, what's that supposed to mean? You are such an unfaithful asshole. Forget about it, I'm not Anchovy anymore and I'm not your Hyung, call me Labo from now on. Akasa asked why Labo, to which Nam replied that it was his new account nickname. Labo, boss said thoughtfully. Wait, isn't that short for the last boss? Watching his friend's extreme surprise, he realized that his judgment was correct. Last boss, is Master trying to become the final boss of this world, Oasis thought. Taking a breath, Nam said, "Anyway, let's get straight to the point. I will give you some incredible information and in return, lend me some gold." After listening to the offer, Akasa said, "So Hyung is saying is that a cash item that increases enhancement success rate will be added soon. And you're suggesting I buy enhancement stones now and sell them later on?" "Well, I will still make money though," replied Mincheol. "After 1 month, when the Season 6 update comes in, the level cap will increase and new equipment will be released. However, all the existing enhancement stones in the market will be completely deleted once the cash item is added. There will be a storage of enhancement stones throughout Season 6, but it will slowly be resolved over time." After listening to the story, the boss asked, "But Hyung, for a profit-minded person like me, it doesn't matter as long as we have money. But in this game, will it be okay if such an item is introduced?" "This is only the beginning," answered the boy seriously. "Much more serious items will pour in from now on. Un-ha-su will do anything in the name of profit." After those words, Mincheol received an in-game notification of a new trade offer from Akasa. "Here is the 1 million gold you requested. Since you have provided valuable information, I won't charge any interest." "Thank you, I will repay it soon," answered Nam gratefully. "Are you also planning to make some money with enhancement stones, Hyung?" Akasa inquired. "No, money is not my goal. Let's go." After receiving the necessary thing, Mincheol said to Oasis. "You know, your appearance looks quite pleasing right now," said the boss unexpectedly. Pleased expression, what do you mean? Labo asked in surprise. "The face of someone like us," Akasa said mysteriously again. "The face of someone who doesn't hesitate to use any means and methods for their goals." "The face of villain," boss said confidently. Leaving the lair of local bandits after a successful deal, the boy kept thinking about what Akasa had said about him having the face of a villain. "Maybe because I'm young," he thought. "I think the charges must have been dropped." "Since you are confidently and boldly acting like his Hyung," said Oasis. "The lawsuit was just a form of threat. It is a lawsuit meant to give a warning to malicious users. Even if he didn't come to find me, the lawsuit would have been withdrawn," answered Nam. "By the way, aren't you tired? It has been 15 hours since you logged in," Oasis said worriedly. After crunching his back, Nam said, "I'm actually getting a bit tired." "Well, open your trade window for now." "You gave me all of it?" Oasis said in surprise when 1 million of gold was credited to her in-game account. "With this, open up your bank, then your warehouse, and then trade up to the limit. Buy every single iron ore priced at 5 gold or less on the market," said Nam Mincheol. "But why exactly it should be iron ore?" the girl asked. "I will explain later, I'm just too tired right now," he answered with a tired yawn. "While I'm away, make sure to solo clear 10 levels, said Nam in farewell. "What about my role?" the girl asked worriedly. "You can advance to a specialized job starting from level 10 in a regular role." "Well then, good luck," said the boy leaving the game. "I'm on my own," the girl thought when Nam Mincheol left the game. "So that means that I finally can truly enjoy the game," the girl shouted joyfully, tired of their dangerous adventures full of violence and problems. A genuine smile of carelessness finally appeared on her face. "I will buy every iron ore that is under 5 gold, the girl hastily shouted to the surprised seller of the trading bench. After fulfilling one of her master's requests, the girl went to raise her account's gaming level as she had planned, firstly hunting bats with a dagger. And then hunting the dreaded underground spiders that every average girl fears a lot, but not Oasis the artificial intelligence. After a successful hunt, the girl received a notification that her game inventory was full. "I have too many miscellaneous items, in that case. Let's make cloth out of spider silk," she said enthusiastically before setting to work, that gradually improves her gaming level of item creation skills. This is so much fun, the girl thought with satisfaction, filling her inventory with new items. After finishing crafting of new items, she said, "Now it's time for a cooking challenge." After cooking different dishes, her skills constantly improved. Now, in addition to clothes, her inventory has been replenished with bat wing soup. After such a large number of different activities, the girl thought that there was nothing else for her to do, but after reviewing the list of skills, she decided to go fishing. Oasis fished as she continued to improve her skills. "Oh my, I got so hooked on playing like this," the girl said with incredible pleasure after receiving a notification about reaching level 12. "Anyway, why hasn't the master come yet? It's been a day already," she thought excitedly. At that time, while the girl was carelessly fishing, waiting for the return of her master, she was noticed by two residents of Undertown. "What is that, a newbie?" one of them asked curiously. "You are right, it doesn't seem like they're advanced yet, right?" "A newbie in Undertown," said the stranger angrily. "How long has it been?" one of them asked, enjoying the situation. "Let's go and kick some ass," his partner replied. Two armed murderers attacked the girl, who did not realize what was happening until the last moment. "Welcome to Undertown," shouted one of the attackers, while fear appeared on the girl's face. Meanwhile, in the real world, it is already daytime, the sun has shone through the window. Exhausted from being in virtual reality for 15 hours, Nam Mincheol was calmly sleeping. Until he was woken up by a phone notification. Glancing with one eye, he saw 52 missed calls, 32 unread messages from Song Shin-ji and 29 unread messages from Lee Dong-ha. "I can't just dive into this recklessly, I guess I should get an alibi," Mincheol thought worriedly. That same evening, he went to a cozy Korean restaurant away from the city noise, where you can cook your own barbecue in the company of friends. "So you are going on a trip?" Song Shin-ji, Wing's online graphics design team leader, her God Mode nickname is Sleek Hair, asked in surprise. "Yeah, I have worked my butt off for the last 15 years, so I want to go somewhere far away," answered Nam Mincheol. "Oh, that is a great idea, Hyung," answered by Lee Dong-ha, Wing's online customer support team leader with God Mode nickname Build. "From my high school club days until now, these were the guys I developed Wings Online together with," Nam recalled. "Labo's unconventional play will be an issue internally, those two will suspect me. There is no better alibi than traveling to avoid suspicion." "So where are you going?" the girl asked an uncomfortable question. "I have been wanting to go to India for a long time, there or South America. I have also been wanting to go to Bali," confidently answered Nam, dispelling possible suspicions, while Dong-ha tried to throw up. This look of disbelief, she definitely has a sixth sense. "Yeah, Hyung, take the opportunity to fully relax. You have worked so hard all this time," said Dong-ha. "And after that?" said the girl, nervously placing the sake on the table. Nam was confused by her question. "What do you plan to do after coming back?" "Well, I haven't really thought about it yet," answered the boy. "I'm jealous, I wish I could take a break too," Dong-ha said enthusiastically. "I wonder when the last time I had a good long sleep." "So are you also going to resign?" the former director slyly asked as he finished his sake. "Should I?" the girl surprised everyone with her question. Nam Mincheol clearly did not expect this and was carefully waiting for the continuation. After drinking another portion of alcohol, the girl again loudly hit the glass on the table. "Lee Dong-ha, should I resign too?" "I do want to," said the already drunk girl. "Anchovy, Build, why don't the three of us start over?" The girl's proposal surprised the boys. "Just how about we start a small company, and like we did in high school, create a simple game with just the three of us?" "I'm in favor of that too, Hyung." "If Hyung wants to start a company, then I still follow along," answered Lee enthusiastically. At first, the confused boy had nothing to say to the support of his friends. "You idiots, how much did you drink to become this drunk?" he asked cheerfully. "Hey, I'm serious," said the girl. "So what about the hospital bills for your sick mother? What are you going to do about your brother's tuition?" Nam said angrily. The girl could not answer anything. "And Dong Ha, are you really spouting such nonsense when you have a pregnant wife?" he angrily asked the puzzled boy. "Forget it, you idiots," Nam said, taking a bottle of sake. "Let's just drink more." Continuing to drink in silence, he thought that maybe someday the three of them could start a small company and happily will make games together. But that is not what he needs to be focused on right now. "What I need to do now, is seek revenge against Napalm, who ruined our game, Nam," Mincheol thought as he finished his sake. "I can handle being the villain by myself. By the way, I wonder if Oasis is doing well." While he rested in pleasant company, Oasis was defending itself against two thieves. Holding the attack of one, the second man rushed at her with a shout. Unexpectedly, his formidable attack was easily stopped. The surprised attacker did not understand what was happening. The girl still stood steadfastly with the dagger. "Excuse me, but what is happening? Why all sudden?" she asked shyly. "What, that girl, she blocked our attack," said one of the attackers in surprise. "Wait, does it make sense for a noob to block our attack?" "Of course not," answered his partner. "There must have been some mistake, let's try again." "Alright, let's do it correctly this time," they said. Running towards the calm girl, holding a dagger in her hands. Oasis clearly saw the movements of the opponents. She blocked the first blow, after which she blocked the second opponent's blow with the same ease. "Why do you guys keep attacking?" Oasis shouted in displeasure. "What is this, a bug?" one of them asked in surprise. "Well, it doesn't seem like a bug." "What, that doesn't make any sense. Even if she applies damage reduction by blocking, fundamentally she still should have taken some damage," the attacker replied disgruntled. "No, not with that weapon," answered his partner. "That is the only weapon in Wings Online with 100% reduction, anyone can buy it from the beginner's village shop. The one she is holding, the beginner dagger." "What, that is totally cheating, isn't it?" the boy asked angrily. "Its attack power is low, so no one actually uses it in battles. Is the blocking of all our attacks considered a skill? It could be one of two things. Either that kid is a PvP genius or they are using hacks," a bold guy said. "I have never encountered a hacker while playing this game, but that's the only explanation that makes sense though." "If that is the case, let's conduct an experiment ourselves," said the boy with dark hair, taking out a crossbow. "To determine if it is really hacking or not. Let's end this once and for all," he shouted. And used an arrow downpour. Crossbow arrows flew in the direction of the girl. And after a moment she began to defend herself against them with ease. "It's hacks, it's literally cheating," the attackers said in confusion, watching the girl. Oasis continued to defend against the arrows, until at one point her dagger broke. Its durability has decreased and the weapon has been destroyed. Holding a broken weapon in her hands and not understanding what is happening, the girl looked at the arrows still flying in her direction. Having no chance to defend herself, she got too much damage and died. Was it cheating? "They are just a noob with bad reflexes, no?" said the bald man. "I don't know, I feel creepy, let's report it to a god mode and see what happens," his partner answered him. "Why did you gang up on them 2-on-1? asked the boy standing behind the attackers, at which voice they turned in surprise. "I messed up, if I drink too much one more time, I will turn into a dog," said Nam Mincheol, holding his head. Why are you here again?" One of the criminals asked. That person lying there, are they your friend? He is my master, Oasis answered with tears in her eyes. If you want to kill someone, you should also be prepared to die, said Nam coldly, taking out his sword. You guys knew that, right?